Well, what's up, everybody? Y'all know it's my favorite day of the week, and I know y'all love Tuesdays too because y'all know I'm coming to y'all with a new Tuesday Talk with Tiff. Hope everybody's having a good week, good Tuesday thus far. But before I get into my week's subject, I need for y'all to do me a favor. Continue to like, share, subscribe, send me friend requests here on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Uniquely Jonique. Thank you to everybody, all my followers, everybody who continues to review, share, comment under my content. And let's keep it going. And to my future followers, welcome. Let's go on this ride. Let's take this thing global. So, like, share, but also comment. Let me know what y'all thinking too. When I give y'all these subjects, I want y'all to talk to me back, okay? So, let's get into this week's, okay? So, like everybody, talks about generational stuff, generational wealth, generational curses, and when I look at both of those, as I was thinking about this week, I think back to how we have to start these generational things. So, for us today, millennials, we have to go back and research a little bit. So that means we have to confront things of our past if we're going to figure out how we're going to set up these generational things. So if it's a curse or if it's something that you think that something happened and you're like, it's not going to happen to my family no more, you have to know what happened in the past. And then if you're setting up generational wealth, you may take different things that the generations before us did in order to get that. One of the biggest things is land and property. Let me set this up for my family, probably because you saw great grandparents to grandparents to uncles, aunties, and different stuff, the things that they did. So we always have to take things from our past to confront our today for our future, to set those standards for the generations to come, correct? But you want to know what I think is missing? We never talk about generational joy. And what I mean by that is generational areas that our people had that make us who we are. I always used to hear, grandmama's prayers. Some of us are still here off of grandmama and great grandmama's prayers because they were praying for the generations that were to come. So when I sit back and I think about some of that, of course, my great grandmother is gone, my grandmother is gone. So I will never know the prayers. And sometimes you don't have to. You will never know the prayers that they prayed over you unless they just kept something. But some of the time I think to myself, are those prayers being fulfilled? And the only way we would kind of know that if we know the character of the people who came before us. What was their work ethic like? What was their home ethic like? Like, what were the things that they thought about and they set and they processed so when they were gone, for people like us, we can continue their legacy of what they thought that was going to be good? Because we should be doing those same things for our generations to come. So, what about generational joy? What are some of the things that that you took from my great grandmother or my grandfather or my uncle over here? Like things that you looked up to, stories that you heard. So I would say me being outgoing, me being a people's person, I see that with my mom, but I know she got that from my grandmother. It's so beautiful to hear stories about how people used to just navigate to her. If people were coming into town, they always wanted to be with my grandmother. They always wanted to be underneath her. How people, her younger cousins and younger family members looked up to her because she was, a businesswoman in a world that, probably didn't want her. She was a woman and she was Black. But she was doing big things for department stores back in the day. So when I sit and I hear those things, especially on the woman's side, I'm like, you know what? My grandmama was the bomb. So how do I live up to that? How do I keep that stride going. And then when you get older, you start to see it and you start to feel it. So I definitely take on the pride of being an outgoing person, always being someone that I feel like if something's going on, I'm a safe space. Not so much like, just knocking at my door, but what I mean is I'm a safe space. I'm a fun space, but I'm a safe space. Um that I give people what I want to give. I think one of her mottos was it's nice to be nice. So it's like if I live in a world full of chaos, but I'm stay positive and I have that down in me, positive things will come even in a world full of negativity. That's one big attribute that I take. Education is big. My grandparents were, big on making sure that we graduated, that we, did those things, whether we went off to college or did anything secondary or not. But that education was big. So it was big for me that, graduating from high school, that was a must. But graduating from college and having my son see it at that time put something in him to say, okay, even if I don't go that far, I saw my mom do it, so I can strive to do it. So being a single mother and raising a son in today's world and society, watching him walk across that stage was something big, to the point that he was even happy that he did it. So it was going through watching my grandparents and knowing that that was big for them, to know that, okay, it's continuing to trickle down through that bloodline. And I could take other things, cooking with love. Because my grandmother, great grandmother were great cooks. My mama is a good cook, and I cook with love. I've had people tell me, why does taste like this? Why does chicken taste like this and this one don't? Because when you cook with love, it's something different. So I take pride in that. I take pride in being outgoing. I take pride in making sure that I stay humbled within myself. I take pride in making sure that I keep my family ships and friendships and different things, connected to me on a daily basis. I take pride in, I'm saying, my faith, what I'm saying, in the Lord. I take pride in all of that. But I also take pride in making sure that my immediate family is good. My son, my mom, my brothers, because that's what my family was about. That's the joy that brought us together. Even though it's not the same, that's the joy that I get from it. We could talk about all the negative things that happened, this happened and that happened, because life lifed. But I'm talking about the good parts. So y'all tell me in the comments or DM me, what was some good generational joy that was given to you, that came from the generations before you, that your people would be happy about? Comment and tell me. I want to hear this. This is good. Generational joy. We're going to start a movement. Let's talk about it, okay? So, until next Tuesday, y'all be your own unique self. And we going to start generational joy around these parts because it's needed. Our kids need it, to our grandchildren, to our great grandchildren, and children's children, and children's children to come. So, no more curses, no more wealth. Let's do generational joy. Till next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.